So for today, I'm actually going to install some new lighting modifications. About a couple months ago, I installed some LED lights in the bed light, or I guess the third brake light, I'm assuming is what you'd call it. It's actually supposed to light up the bed of the truck, but it doesn't do that great of a job, to be completely honest. It really just kind of lights over top of the bed. So the ZR2 came with some actual bed lights. You can buy them aftermarket from GM, or I guess not really aftermarket, they're an OEM part. But you can buy them and actually install them yourself, and that's what I'm going to do today. It's not a very hard modification, it doesn't look like, because there's actually a wiring harness built into the Colorado you just plug right into. So I'm going to walk you step by step, and actually at the very bottom of this video, I'm going to actually put the part number. There's some other videos on YouTube as well, if you want to watch those too, about how to install these. But I'm going to try to be as thorough and in detail as I can about my route of how I do the wires, and about the plugs, and about where the plugs are located. So we'll see kind of how this looks. I know they're actually, you turn them on by touch. I'll show you what they look like at night with the bed cover up and also with it down. That's also going to be very helpful, because that third brake light with the light on, it does not help whenever the actual cover is down, but this actually will. I'll actually be able to see what's in the bed if I need to with the bed cover down. So let's get started. So GM actually provides a really thorough kit. They provide it bagged. They have some directions, I think some online directions you can go and look at. But again, it's very straightforward. I don't think it's necessary. Here's each light. There is for one side. It doesn't really specify which side. Again, it's very much plug and play for the 2023 Colorado and up. And there's the other. So there is two of these. So once you get them installed, they're supposed to be rather bright. I'm sure there's aftermarket options, but again, this is plug and play, and I'll actually put the cost. I think this was around $200 some odd. I had some GM points, so I actually didn't have to pay much for it. I think like $20 extra, just because I had some GM points for after purchasing the truck, and then also some for some other things. So we will actually get this installed, and let's start from, I guess, going underneath the truck, and I'll show you kind of what you're going to plug into. This may be rather dark, but you're actually going to be underneath the driver's side rear tail lamp. And there's actually a plug right up here. I may get a flashlight here in a second and show you, just so you can see better. But there's actually just a plug that has a wire attached, essentially, but it's a wire that you don't need. And I'm sure that honestly, this wire, you could probably untape and actually plug an aftermarket solution for some bed lighting or whatever too. But again, using this OEM style type of kit, you can just unplug it. So we'll go ahead and start by, let me get a light right quick. Let me see if I can use a flashlight and just show you right quick. 1 second. Yes, that's much better, I think. You can actually get an idea of what it looks like. Let me see if I can get a way to see the light, show you a little bit better with the light. It's kind of hard doing it with having both hands. Let me lay this down, this light on me. You're going to see the shadow of the camera. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Right here might be perfect if I can get it situated. There we go. Maybe. Right here it is. Here's the plug. Let's see. Right there. If you can see it. And here's the wire, or the wire that's taped up. So there's gonna be some dirt following me, because I've off-roaded this vehicle quite a bit, and it's still quite muddy, so I may have to two-hand this just to keep from getting so muddy. But there's a red tab, and I think you just pull it right out, if I'm not mistaken. You pull out, try to get not as much dirt like I'm getting in me, but I'll be right back once I get unplugged. Okay, 1 second, guys. All right, guys, for that situation, honestly, it's going to be easier to take the thing down, and it's not that hard, really, honestly. There's just this little attachment right here, and you can just pull it right down. And once you're ready to install everything, you can put it right back up in its placement. But I'll be honest with you, with one hand, it's about impossible, because you have to flick that red piece out. Let me get it right quick. This red piece right here, you have to flick it out. Let me get that. And you have to push down with the screwdriver at the same time on the back end of this piece, and it's tiny, teeny tiny. So honestly, or a screwdriver or your thumb or something like that, and it's just hard to grab unless you have it pulled down like you can with this. So with this piece that I just showed you, you'll throw it to the side if you're using the GM kit. But the cool thing is, I imagine, that you'd actually leave this if you're doing OEM or aftermarket, because you can just untape this, and it looks like it's a positive and negative wire. So you could do aftermarket tail lights or trail light, or bed lights if you'd like to. But we are doing the GM kit, so we're going to remove this. So let's go on to the next step. So the next step will be requirement of actually starting with one of the lights. And you'll use the little hardware attachment kit they send to you. And these are actually 7mm bolts or screws. And I'll show you what to do with those here shortly. But we're going to take these out. I'm going to test the wires to see if I can get a clear route. I have a spray-in bed liner, as you can see. But now I have heard on some of the installs that if you have a throw-in bed liner or plastic bed liner, you do have to do some cutting. Spray-in bed liner, you do not. But now I've heard still yet with the plugs here that you still are required to somewhat disassemble this so you can actually get it down into the wheel well or down past the bed pretty easily, but we're going to try and see. Give me 1 second. It actually worked. I was actually able to snake the main line or the line down through this side and the wire around this. Now it was a very tight fit, and I'll try to show you on the other side how I've done it. It's kind of frustrating, but I'm assuming now the next step will be to use the hardware, and I will show you to put right here and here so you can put your screws in. And for reference, there's the end of the bed. So you're gonna come over here, there's your light hanging. And here is those 2 holes, 1, 2, or 1, 2. So let me get these lined up right quick and see exactly if that's what you do. And then we'll use the 7mm socket to get it tightened down. And that'll be one side. So these are rather simple. If I can get the focus, there's the back side of it, there's the front side, as you can see. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take it, as I showed you a minute ago, those squares. I reckon you're just going to push it in to each one. There's that one. There's one. We're going to make sure it lines up that way. Right. And it does. So then we're going to take our second one. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm not trying to wobble you around too much. I'm just grabbing it into the bag. Okay. And I get number 2. And there that is. Okay. So, there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our screws and we're going to put it in. And that'll be our first slot. And again, some of this I'm going to fast forward through, so bear with me. I don't want you to have to sit through all the boring stuff. Okay, there's our screw. I'm going to tighten it, hand tighten it, or start it with hand tightening it. And I'm going to go down there and get my 7mm socket. Sorry. Well, let me go and get this started by hand, and I'll be right back. So we got the first one done. I'm just going to take the tape off here, and there's no point in leaving it on because we're done with it a lot, installing it. So anyways, there's that one. As you can see, we got the bolts in there, 7mm. The wire is right there. I don't know if there's any better way of hiding it. I don't really think. So it's not going to be seen anyways from up here. There we go. Getting wire or screws in. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I'm going to try to show you how to snake it down in the bed. We'll see how that goes. 1 second. I'm hopeful that this will go as good as the last one. Or well, it didn't really go good, but at least I got it in there. So let's see if I can remember how I done it. Okay, so we're going to try it some different ways. Right now I have the tab pointed down. That is very tight right there. That's for sure tight. Okay, let's tab up. Okay, let's try it right here. This one may not be the same, and I wish it would. I am gonna keep on trying though for a minute, because it made it so much easier than having to worry about taking anything apart or fiddling with it much. Okay, that's very, very tight compared to the other side. If not, there's a way to take this apart and make it easier, but maybe. Oh, it went through. Good deal. A little bit of push, and it went down. All right. Now, the thing about it is getting it back through here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. As you can see, it's kind of in the wrong section. So you kind of have to push it back over this area. And that's a tight squeeze, but that wire loom does protect it. So it's push. Yeah. I hope it's not too dark. I know it is dark, and I apologize for that. But just push it over, and there it goes. So there you go. And just fish it on down. And the next thing we'll do is like what we done on that. Oh goodness, I was way up in the sky there with you guys. And the next thing what we'll do is fish it on down, or we'll put those metal pieces in and get this one screwed down. And I'll meet you all underneath the truck here shortly when we do the other wiring harness. All right, guys, as I said, we're back underneath the truck. Kind of just wanted to show you where we're at. As you can see, here's where the wire came down. This is actually from the driver's side. So this is in the bed where the driver's side light, the bed light came down from that one light we fed down. So I'm gonna start on this side because the harness that they provided will actually connect here. It will connect into the one that we disconnected earlier. So far, the hardest part of this whole thing has been this, just because disconnecting it. So this is not bad. They provided plenty of zip ties. I'm just gonna throw these up here. Plenty of zip ties. So I'm gonna hook the wire in last into the harness. But I did want to start on this side just kind of so I knew exactly how to run the wires. So we'll connect though, we're going to connect this wire in first. The driver's side light. I might have to put you down, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to set you up so you can see. Maybe. I hope you can. And I'll show you what route I'm going to take with these wires here in a second when I get this first one hooked up. I'm just going to follow the route of the rest of the wiring harness as best as possible. It looks like there is a way to go up over this. So that's most likely what I'm going to do. And I'll zip tie everything after I get done. I'm going to try to stay as close to the frame as possible, the body as possible, away from suspension components. Like I said, just close to the other wires, because you know that they actually are safe, because that's where everything else is ran. Once I finish this and once I finish with all the wiring and get it zip tied up, I'll show you the route I went. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, guys, I finished the routing of the wiring, and I brought it back from the driver's side, where it came down from the tail lamp on the driver's side rear, run it down to where actually the hitch is, all the way across behind the spare tire, and then way over to the other side. And I'm gonna try to take it over there, the camera over there if I can. Maybe it'll let me, but I don't think it's gonna let me. But anyways, I came up through the passenger side and went to that passenger side tail light where the other one was hanging down. And that finishes it. I'm actually wired up. I got everything, as you can see, zip tied. Let me try to fix that. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm way back there, my bad. Well, I got everything zip tied, as you can see. This is the wire. So everything's zip tied. It came with those zip ties. So everything's zip tied all the way across. And it's all tucked up really nice and neat. So let me show you what it looks like. The nice thing about this is you can just tap it, I think for 2 seconds, and they come right on. Again, this is during the daytime, so it's not very bright right now. There you go. There's one, and they both come on at the same time. And there's the other one. So we'll see what it looks like at nighttime. I'm gonna go ahead and close the bed cover and see if we can notice a difference. 1 second. Again, this is during the daytime, so it's not gonna be very easy to notice or to tell because there's ambient light outside here. But here it is. You can at least have some light in there. And it is bright. I mean, it's brighter. We'll see exactly, I guess, what the nighttime looks like. It does come on, or they will come on with the truck off. They do go off automatically from my understanding, but to turn them off without actually letting them go off automatically, all you do is touch them for 2 more seconds and they're off. So I will show you, or maybe whenever this clip started you saw the nighttime effect. I don't know. I'll show you at some point in this video of what they look like at nighttime. But until next time, I do have actually a 6-panel gang switch coming that's wireless. I'm gonna do the install for it, and also some ditch lights for up front. I'm gonna wire those up, install those, see how that looks and how the wireless aspect is. And we may do some fog lights since I do have the actual, since I actually have the wireless gang panel now. So we'll see what that looks like. But until next time, see ya.